I have said repeatedly this week to anybody who asks, this is a week where we can take some comfort in the fact that justice was served in the sentencing of Scooter Libby. And we can take some comfort in the fact that Judge Walton reaffirmed that this is a nation of laws and not a nation of men. I said that, of course, before Paris Hilton was released this morning after 3 days in jail. So I may have to adjust that particular applause line going forward, but I think you get my point. There are those in the political realm, regrettably some from the Republican Party, including one who's a star on Law and Order, Mr. Fred Thompson, who continue to try and argue that this is a miscarriage of justice. Patrick Fitzgerald, the U.S. attorney prosecuting this case, made it clear in court the other day that if you allow people to walk on perjury and obstruction of justice charges, you are sowing the seeds for the destruction of our justice system. Mr. Thompson knows that because he's a former deputy U.S. attorney, and he testified along those lines a number of years ago. But he also sits on the board of the Free Libby crowd. Mr. Giuliani is another one who has said pretty much the same thing, even though several years ago when he was U.S. attorney and mayor, he'd also testified differently. Why are they doing this? Why would candidates from the Law and Order Party be attempting to undermine not just our system of justice with their comments, but also undermine those who put their lives at risk every day to gather the secrets that allow us to correctly assess what the threats are to our national security? Why are these people making themselves the poster children of the treason faction of the Republican Party? Perhaps we need a new organization, an offshoot of PSR, Politicians for Social Responsibility. Or at least Republicans for Social Responsibility. In our mind, this has never been a question of partisanship. It's always been a question of national security. Somebody asked me today, a journalist said, how does it feel to be a polarizing figure? And I said, well, frankly, with George Bush at 29%, I think he's a polarizing figure. Not me. Not Valerie. If there is a lesson from our experience, it is the lesson that we have learned time and time again in the history of our country. And that is that the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States is not just a right, but it is a citizen responsibility. When it says nothing shall be done to abrogate a citizen's right to petition his government for the redress of a grievance, that is what allows us to petition our government every day at every level and to hold them to account for what they say and what they do in the name of the people. You do that every day in this organization, at every level, whether it's at the school level, at the state level, at the national level, or at the international level. It is what a strong democracy demands of its citizenship in order to survive. When Benjamin Franklin left Constitution Hall, he was asked, what sort of government have you bequeathed us, Dr. Franklin? To which he replied, a republic, if you can keep it. We can only keep this republic strong if we participate in it. We have participated in our democracy, and it has been a great honor for us to do so. You all know that because you too have participated in this democracy. This is not a perfect country, but there are values that this country represents which are worth standing up for, even when and if that means standing up to your government. George Orwell once said that in times of universal deceit, simply telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Writing an article in the New York Times entitled "What I Did Not Find in Africa" was not in and of itself all that startling. What was startling was an administration that was engaged in such a systematic pattern of deceit and misinformation of its population that made that article noteworthy. The context in which the article was written. So I want to thank you all tonight very much. It's a great honor to be here with you, and it's a great humbling experience to be part of what a great organization and such a wonderful group of people. Thank you all very much. Sure. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming tonight, and I hope to see you next year. Please drive safely, and good night.